Hi there, Victor Pross speaking to you, anarchist artist. I am very proud to be speaking with Marc Emery and Walter Block for this year's Sons of Anarchy event, which is taking place at the Railway Club in Vancouver City, August 2nd. This is going to be a very pivotal event. I do invite you to come out. Don't miss it. You do not want to miss this event. Last year's Sons of Anarchy was very successful. Some of the highlights are captured in a video that was put together by Press for Truth called The Real Sons of Anarchy. And the Sons of Anarchy, of course, as we all know, is a television show, but the name has been co-opted for the purposes of these presentations. And this will be the second Sons of Anarchy event. Last year, 2014, was the first Sons of Anarchy, which featured again myself, Walter Block, and the Libertarian leader of Canada, Tim Moen. But this time around we have myself again and Walter Block, and I will be speaking with Marc Emery, as I mentioned, who is, if you don't know who he is, as someone reported to me one time, how could you not know who Marc Emery is, especially if you live in Vancouver? You must be living under a rock. But he is he has been quite the advocate and the provocateur of the authorities that be. He's a businessman, and he's also a fighter for liberty, quite very much so, in his advocacy and fighting against the criminalization of pot smoking, and which might be considered a very narrow issue. But hey, the fight for liberty does not take place in one fell swoop. You have to chip away at violent aggression and authoritarian-based regimes, bit by bit, piecemeal, one day at a time. The movement is advancing, and I just think that the whole issue of incarcerating a person for this innocuous plant, taking out 5 years of their life, depriving them of their liberty, which is what Marc Emery suffered through, I think is completely horrid. I think the man has a very important message to communicate, and his specific story should be known wide and far. And just to illustrate how brutal and how prehistoric this institution is, the state, with its draconian laws, with its unjust laws, with its ridiculous laws, and how oppressive they are, and how despicable and evil that they actually are, to deprive a human being of their freedom for something as innocuous as pot smoking, which of course is entirely a victimless crime. Now, just a brief little history regarding the Sons of Anarchy, so that you have a background and a framework of understanding the importance of this event that's coming up in August. You don't want to miss it. These are very important events. I think that they're going to be historical. We plan on making the Sons of Anarchy an annual event. Last year in 2014 was the first Sons of Anarchy event, taking place at the same location, the Railway Club in Vancouver. And at that time, as I mentioned, the featured speakers was myself and Walter Block and Tim Moen. And you know, I guess as we continue on to 2016, 2017, we'll have different speakers. I may continue to speak, or maybe just have entirely all three new speakers on occasion. But the theme is going to be the Sons of Anarchy. How the Sons of Anarchy came about was maybe about in 2013, I think, was the first Sons of Anarchy event, though it wasn't called the Sons of Anarchy event. I gave a talk. I was contacted by somebody at Liberty Mingle to give a presentation at the Railway Club. I gave that solo presentation, and then somebody else invited me on another occasion to debate Zeitgeister, an advocate of the Zeitgeist movement, who happens to be Matt Berkowitz. I debated him, and of which that was a very interesting debate. There, up in the audience, was Walter Block, God, lo and behold, I couldn't believe it. You know, I didn't know that the man was going to be there. I've been reading his works for years, and then lo and behold, there he is in the audience watching me debate Mac Berkowitz, and that was the Zeitgeist movement, resource-based economy versus free market anarchism. So that was the debate. Walter apparently was impressed. He complimented me. We talked for a little bit. He made it a point to get in touch with somebody from Liberty Mingle to get my contact information. We exchanged some dialogue. Walter invited me to lunch with he and some of his friends. That was a pleasant conversation. I propositioned Walter to, hey, we should get together and give a presentation and talk, have a talk, 2 for the price of 1, a half-hour talk by myself and a half-hour talk by Walter Block. And but later on, we were joined with Mike Shanklin. This was 2013, and that talk was given. 3 presentations, and but it was just a Liberty Bingle event. Later on, though, in 2014, when I organized yet another event to feature 3 speakers, myself and Walter Block and whoever else, but in this case was Tim Moen, of course. But it was, I do give credit to Philip Johnston, who said, hey, why don't we give the event a name, you know, something that ties together in a marketing sense. And I thought, well, yeah, sure, that sounds like a good idea. Why not? You know, let's call it the Sons of Anarchy. Sons of Anarchy, isn't that a TV show? And I thought, well, so what? It's a TV show. We can co-opt the name and whatever. You know, it's a cool name. You know, Sons of Anarchy. You know, like we are the sons. You know, Murray Rothbard is the father. So that was a very successful event that took place and last year in 2014. So you had the 2013, but that featured myself, Walter Block, and Michael Shanklin. That was not a Sons of Anarchy event. It wasn't called that, but later on in 2014, when the name was dubbed, it just kind of like, I thought, you know, this should be an annual thing. This should be an ongoing theme. Sons of Anarchy event presents whoever will be future speakers. So I'm going to keep this as an annual thing, but this is going to be a very important year. That's a little bit of the history there. You should be proud to be able to say that, God damn it, yes, I went to a Sons of Anarchy event. That's right, I went to the to the 3rd Sons of Anarchy event. I missed the first one, but God damn it, I'm not going to miss this one. So that's my little pitch for you to invite you and to entice you to come on out and have a few beers, listen to some wonderful speakers. My own talk is going to be on the normative nature of the state. The normative nature of the state, where basically my thesis is that once we understand the essence, the essential characteristics of the state, that it is not only an institution that initiates violence against other people. That's a very distinguishing, important characteristic of the state that distinguishes it from other institutions where it initiates violence. We all know that. I mean, we hear it up and down and sideways and every which way from Sunday that it's aggressive violence. We get the point of that. But there's another tool in the control apparatus here, and that is one of giving this institution a moral sanction, an attempt at legitimacy. So that's another very powerful tool that we have to absolutely contend with, and that's a subject that I want to expound upon, you know, at my talk, so that we as freedom fighters, as libertarians, or as anarchists, are better equipped to fight for freedom if we know in full the nature of this institution, which is not just physical force. But anyway, don't get me started now. I'm going to save it for the talk. Thank you for listening. It's Victor Pross speaking, anarchist artist, signing out. Pop goes the culture.